I've always disliked to speak. Words fear me. I'm afraid of words. It's very difficult as a young child to express what I really wanted to tell, or to speak about things that matters, or to convince the people around me about what I'm interested in, what I'm worried about, what I'm concerned with. But somehow I managed to find another medium I could express myself fully, and that was through dance. I'm Aida Redza. I'm a performance maker, choreographer. I'm also a dancer. I would prefer to call myself a contemporary performer. I went through different stages of change in my period of creation and creating works. I started off, as mentioned, that I wanted to connect with the mothers and the wise women before me, to acknowledge and celebrate that spirit which we have never been introduced to, but only hear through stories and myths and legends. So a lot of my work in the beginning was about the feminine woman, the women power, and then it went into gender and rights, equality, freedom of expression, nature, the voiceless, and maybe sometimes it's hard to represent or to say that we represent the voiceless. And so what inspired me is to go and be with the people, represent the living and the breathing by really living in that condition. It's not very easy in each of our creations to do so, but for me, that's what really inspires me, when I can be in touch with the living. Being a Malaysian artist, as in a dancer, being a woman, being a Malay woman, and choosing, of course, it is a choice, being a mother. It's not an obstacle, of course. It's an amazing space to be, but it is, the obstacle is when the mindset of others who you work with creatively find that when you are a woman, you're unable to do certain things in your creative activities. Because you're a Malay woman, I myself feel I cannot do certain things. Because you're a mother, you can't take projects that takes you overseas or takes time period where you have to be with the team 24 hours a day. Those mindset of people that says because you are this and this and this, you can't do certain projects or works or artwork. And that has been an obstacle, the mindset of people of not being flexible and considerate. The obstacle of that time is limited, and that you cannot give time to understand how to consider giving possibilities to allow and enable to include people with different situations to still be creative in this creative world. I'm known for my work Move by Paddy, but for me Paddy goes beyond food, beyond rice, beyond the seed, to go deeper into the soul, spirit. I find that living in the city, sometimes we forget our soul. And the creation myth about the mother spirit being connected to it is why I choose Move by Padi. Just finding back that connection to discover her within me and within the landscape is how I see myself represented today, and that's the work that really is about me. My hope is now, that we can incorporate a little bit more dance with science, for example, which people have been doing, science, dance with architecture. But there are people who have started, and I would like to go and dwell into that. Right now, of course, I'm focusing on traditional living, livelihoods, like the farmer. I'm looking at the farmer. Soon I'd like to look at the fishermen. I mean, the everyday earning, living people that I think I am hopeful to reach out and work together and collaborate. So collaboration is not just among artist to artist. I hope that collaboration can be with a politician, so you can also work with them, not to change their mindset, but them to experience from our side. And we also have to experience from their side, so that we can have a understanding of what, how each other is working and what is in their heads and in their minds. So for me, I'm hopeful that to make change, we need to exchange and be with the other person in their skill and their spaces before we can actually continue within our own world, because art or dance represent the energy and the passion of people. That's how it started. We are the voice of things that's happening around us, but we cannot be if we are not being with them. Watching my mother having this love for singing, for dancing, and wanting to create and be creative was a real pleasure for me. But also seeing her breaking down and unable to do what she wanted to do because of family, because of responsibilities, of commitment as a mother, as a wife. I kind of looked that into my mother's eye and also saw all the mothers before her, my grandmother, my great-grandmother, and all the difficulty and challenges when all they could do and be is to be the wise woman who's constantly creating with their children and for the loved ones. And I said I would be their voice. And I want to be the voice of all women and the women spirits that have been here before us. That is what is driving me on with my work today.